Cool. Have any specific topics?
No, we just went over it. Yeah, I mean, God and college football and affirmative action.
Okay.
You have a seat right here.
Yeah, on this side.
That's right.
What was your name again?
Jordan.
Jordan.
Actually, I forgot to get. Can I get your first and last name?
Yeah. Dax.
D. Can you spell it for me?
DAX.
All right.
Yeah. And you can just say Dax Rocker. ROCKER. ROCKER.
All right. And.
Hey, how are you guys doing today?
I'm good.
Hey.
Just here to let y'all know that y'all can't use the tripods on any paved area. We're about to get on everybody.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
It's against our policy.
Can I hold them?
You can hold them. You can use them on the grassy area. You just cannot put them down.
Okay. Got it.
Paved areas.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. Thank y'all.
Okay. What? Worst that could happen? Don't know. And that's not even the worst that happened. They just said don't have a tripod.
Right. So I'll do a hummingbird style, I guess.
Okay. All right. So, what's something that's important?
I guess we can either do the football or the affirmative action. It doesn't.
Okay.
It's something that
What's important to you about football?
the camaraderie, like the team aspect, just being like being with the, I guess like the family aspect that football.
Mm-hmm. Do you have any beliefs about football that other people would disagree with you on?
Oh, it's the best sport.
It's
It's the best sport. Like, yeah, I think it's the best. It's definitely the best sport. I mean, are you saying like the sport overall, or?
I mean, maybe something political about football. Maybe there's something, an issue in football. Some people say different things about the NIL deal.
We can definitely talk NIL.
Yeah.
I definitely think that is something. It's interesting. It's definitely interesting. Just because people in the NFL now look at what's happened, or the NIL now. Like Aaron Rodgers was saying the other day, like NIL and the transfer portal and everything is kind of like free agency for the NFL, but like with less rules, essentially. Because you can really transfer out, go where you want to, and money is kind of becoming a big. I guess you could call it a bit of equalizer, because you're not everyone's just going to Alabama, Georgia, these higher Power 5 schools. Like, you do have some Group of 5 and lower Power 5 schools that are, because they can offer a kid a little bit more money, and just depending on the situation that they're coming from. I mean, honestly, most collegiate athletes are black athletes, and some of them do come from less fortunate backgrounds. And so if you can basically offer a kid to change their life, an opportunity, they'll probably take.
Okay. Just to get an idea of our options here. Tell me about affirmative action. What's important to you about that?
Okay. I think affirmative action is a little interesting, because while I do think it was bad that they overturned it, because I feel like it goes into the debate of, like, I just feel like it is another setback for, I don't even necessarily want to call it a setback, just because I don't want to call it a setback. I think it is an opportunity for people of color to just show that they are as qualified, if not more qualified than other people, to go to school and do the same things. Just because I feel like when you're not afforded the opportunity for, like, we can just say Harvard or Yale, like an Ivy League school, for example, when you're not afforded that opportunity to or someone else gets that opportunity over you. It's just a different world of opportunities that open up when you get that opportunity to go to a school.
So you would say that affirmative action increases opportunity for people of color
Yes.
at school. Would you say it does that by definition?
Not necessarily, not by definition, right? I think I kind of, let's see, I'm trying to get my thoughts together on this. Because it kind of takes me to a whole nother place and like redlining and zoning and different things, and where it's just, I'm not gonna say you kind of put people at a disadvantage, and because they don't have the same opportunities, because you're already at that disadvantage, you don't have the, how do I say this? Like if I take, I'm trying to figure out I guess politically correct the way to say this, but like basically if you take a kid out of a lower income environment, you put them into a school, and while the kid might not have the opportunity to go to have with honors class and AP classes and everything, he might not have the opportunity to have this 4.3 or 4.5 GPA compete to go get to school. But he has these extracurricular activities where he's been in clubs, or he's been playing sports and stuff like that. But then you put him up against a kid that even grew up with two parents, you're in a house, and you maybe went to private school, maybe not, but you were afforded the opportunity and that support, but you have a higher GPA. It's like now they accept you over this other kid, and this other kid is already from a bad environment, and now that, I'm not saying he doesn't necessarily get the opportunity to go to college, but if you get into there are levels to college. Like there are levels to the types of school that you get into, and if you can get into a better school that will offer you better opportunity, and you can help your family. And
okay, so in your own words, what would you say is effective about affirmative action? What is it? What do you want it to do that you think it is doing?
Offer opportunities for
yeah. And the reason to offer these opportunities to them because without offering them through affirmative action, they wouldn't have a fair shot at getting them?
Somewhat, because I mean, either way we put it, we live in America. We like to talk about race and how it's not a thing, but it very much is. And as we say, as a black person in this society, you have to be 2 times better than the next man. Just because you're black, you're already put at a disadvantage. And so I feel like, yes, like it offers opportunities to, I think it just levels the playing field. Like it allows me or people that look like me to be seen, versus I just feel like that there are plenty of times when it's just because someone, not just black, whether Hispanic or anything other than Caucasian, they are automatically put at a disadvantage. They don't even have the opportunity to get into the school they want to. Like I feel like there are situations where it's not, but it's like, but I think if
why is it that they do not have the same opportunities?
I just think it goes back to the beginning, like the way they grew up, because it's all systematic. Like it's all systematic.
Yeah, I was just thinking of an example of like a black person going to a public school, and the public school has AP classes in it. I wasn't sure, I might have been misunderstanding. I wasn't sure if you were saying like they didn't have the same opportunity, and so they're not likely to get in that AP course.
Well, yeah, I mean, you can even look at it like
Yeah.
that. I'm saying that there are even schools that don't offer
They
the
don't even
AP
offer
class
it because
or-
it's in some predominantly black area,
or a
Yeah.
yes, or lesser income, or it just
yeah,
and then you even look at how schools. I'm not sure how it works up here in DC, but I'm from North Carolina. We have every school kind of has a grade, and we had multiple schools in the same area. The school that I went to we were a B plus or A minus school, but if you went 5 or 10 minutes down the road, there were some D and F rated schools, and I had a friend that transferred from the high school I was at to one of the lower income high schools, and she didn't even have the opportunity. They didn't offer some of the AP classes that she wanted, but she even went from taking some like regular classes and a few honors classes at the school that I was at. But then when she transferred, she was in all honors classes. So then also the level of education is a lot lower. Like we all have to take the ACT and SAT, and based on what you learn also affects that outcome and how you get in schools.
yeah. A lot of this sounds based off of your upbringing and like where you come from, and how much money you have. And I'm wondering if you think the same kind of thing would happen in a scenario where it's like majority people of color school, but it's higher income. It's in a good neighborhood. Would affirmative action be needed there?
No, I don't think affirmative action
Mm.
is necessary in something like that. But it's also, 'cause I kind of see the point that you're getting at. Just from speaking to you earlier, you were saying that it should be income based, and while I 100% get and understand that, though, I feel like that also leaves room for that to go to someone else rather than a person of color. Like just because someone else comes from a lower income or the same sort of income, the same sort of situation, I think that those opportunities then go to someone else instead of a person of color.
If it was income based, it would be going to a white or a black person that's at that level of need.
But I don't
Yeah.
think that's why I say it leaves room for it to not go to that person of color.
All right, would you want it to go to a person of color that's not in need versus a white person that's in need?
No, because college
Yeah.
as a whole is very expensive.
Yeah.
So I think
Yeah, you want.
they do.
Yeah, you want it to go to people in need, and I'm wondering how, if it's income based, how it could leave an opportunity for it to not go to a person of color that's in need.
Because I feel like I said before, because of the country that we live in, I feel like that opportunity will go to a white person before it goes to a colored person. Like that's just the way I feel about it, and
How could we know?
we would know because I mean we haven't. It's not something that's been done, so I can't necessarily tell you how we would know. I can just tell you based off of affirmative action that has been in place for however many years has now been changed, and like those are that's how I think it will begin to affect.
Yeah. So we couldn't know. So I guess I should have asked earlier, like, how confident are you that that's what would happen?
I'm not honestly, just because I think even the beginning of overturning affirmative action just kind of proves. Yeah, I think that I just don't think it will. And I think the overturning, like I said, of affirmative action proves that.
What is the reason that you don't think it will?
I mean, honestly, I just feel like anytime. Well, first, the people making these decisions aren't people of color. They aren't people that. Many of them haven't come from those situations or circumstances. So, because they aren't a person of color, I don't feel like they will offer those same opportunities to a person of color.
Okay. So if they were people of color in those types of decisions, in those cases, you would feel more the other way.
I wouldn't necessarily. Yeah, I guess I would be a little bit more comfortable with it. I guess just because, like I said, just because of the country we live in, and especially I guess you could say what's the word I'm looking for?
Yeah.
The racial. What's the word I'm looking for? I can't even find the word. But just ever since Donald Trump was our president, it's just been a lot of racial tension in this country. I mean, even before, we live in America, so there's always going to be that racial tension. But just being from the South, seeing the way that people acted during his term versus the way they acted after, like literally the day after he was not the president anymore. I say it was definitely. I say it was a little frightening. Just a little bit.
Okay. Well, is there any questions you think I should have asked that I haven't asked you?
No, I think you actually did pretty good. You were asking me questions based off of what I was saying. You didn't necessarily have questions in your head. And as a journalism student and someone that does this, I think you did a good job.
Thank you so much, Harris. It means a lot.
Thanks, Jordan.
Yeah, you too. Before you go, I want a selfie with you or a photo with you. Show that armband. Let it rock. Okay. I need somebody to take a photo of me. Yeah. If you could. Yeah. Can I be arm in arm?
Yeah.
All right.
Say Roll Tide.
Roll Tide.
I appreciate y'all. Y'all have a good one.
Yeah, take care. Man. So this must have gotten turned off somehow.
Okay.
That's all right. But we have the audio from the GoPro.
Oh, good. Okay.
It'd be easier to edit that way anyway.
Okay.
So, what do you think?
I think that was good. And it started out like the first interview today where I was like, oh God, a bunch of claims, a bunch of stuff. Where do I go? And then I found my way. I don't know if that's how you felt watching it.
I thought that was great.
Yeah, I found my way. I got reflection from him, and he saw that I was focused, and he felt that, and he said, that's the best compliment I can get. Like, as a student of journalism, he thinks I'm doing good
journalism. That's great.
Oh man, what an end to unless somebody interviews me in the next 20 minutes.
So what was he not confident about?
What was he not confident about? Whether it would result in the outcome of a black person. So if there's no affirmative action in place, he's not confident whether it would result in a black person being denied that opportunity, like that should have gotten some sort of opportunity. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I would be interested in knowing if he's in favor of people being treated differently based on skin tone.
Well, by definition, yeah, because affirmative action. But
you think he would say yes?
I think, I want to be generous to the guy. Maybe he would say no in terms of if we're in an ideal world. I think his whole thing is, he went back to this a couple of times. He's like, we're in America, and we're in America means like we're in a place that has a race problem. And so if that race problem was not there, I think he'd say no. Like,
okay, so hypothetically, in
a
perfect world,
yeah,
he would not want people to be treated differently based on skin tone.
Yeah.
But because of the world that we live in,
mm-hmm. Yeah,
he's in favor of treating people differently based on skin tone.
Mm-hmm. I see what you did there. See, you're so good at that. Why are you so good at Why are you so good at that?
All right.
Because the only, well, you know the answer to that. Only solution to past discrimination, present discrimination.
Yeah, that's.
Yeah.
I guess that's the question. Cool. Well, that was good.
That was good. Oh
Yeah.
my God, that was so good. Oh!